This morning, I woke up and meditated and gave The Creative Act by Rick Rubin a quick little read to meditation music. I'm shocked that I'm almost a third of the way through this book. I don't generally read, but experimenting with this as a practical way to develop a creative process and documenting it has been probably one of the most fun experiments I've ever done. And so for today on Creative Church, let me read to you a passage that resonated with me. Our work embodies a higher purpose. Whether we know it or not, we're a conduit for the universe. Our thoughts, feelings, processes, and unconscious beliefs have an energy that is hidden in the work. This unseen, unmeasurable force gives each piece its magnetism. A completed project is only made up of our intention and our experiments around it. Remove intention, and all that's left is an ornamental shell. Though the artist may have a number of goals and motivations, there is only one intention. This is the grand gesture of the work. It is not an exercise of thought, a goal to be set, or a means of commodification. It is a truth that lives inside you. Through your living it, that truth becomes embedded in the work. If the work doesn't represent who you are and what you're living, how can it hold an energetic charge? And so the question for today, what is my intention in documenting the expression of creativity through my instrument, my body? Valid question. What is the higher purpose I'm serving? These are really big questions, and I don't know if I'll figure out the answer to them today, but I sure as hell will give them a ponder. I found a little buddy spider in the house. I was meditating and I opened up my eyes, and as soon as I did, there was like a thing crawling across the carpet, and I was like, oh my god, that thing runs really fast. I've captured it into a glass. You can see little buddy in there. I think this might be my life, capturing spiders, because I like to leave the patio freaking open and then they just come crawling in. And honestly, if Mr. Buddy or Mrs. Buddy just stayed in like, I don't know, like a corner and just caught bugs, I'd be so happy, but like, don't crawl around, I'm scared. Anyways, I'm gonna let them out. He's like, what are you doing? Let me out. I am. Must be scared. Do spiders feel fear? I don't know. Ugh, I'm scared. I just kind of yeeted him. I think he's okay. Watch him crawl away. What am I really hoping to accomplish with expression? I see the internet as a void. I would like to carve out my own corner in that void. The world of me. Let's say somebody was going to stumble into my corner of the world. This is who I am, what I believe. I must say that they were down in the dumps, or lost, or perhaps even in pain or suffering, or just looking for something fun and entertaining. What would my world hold? What would I have available to give, to help? Documentation of my expression is only the beginning. It's the beginning of me discovering what that is, what I'm building. That blue building is so cute. If you asked me 14 days ago if I would be consistently creating in a 30-day challenge, documenting my creative process while I develop it as a YouTuber, I'd be like, there's no way. There's no way that I am going online and I'm creating from my life, from me, and I have things to say and stories to tell. And yet, here we are. I think I consumed, before I started this channel, probably for about 7 years, recording how to start. And so I was really overloaded on information, but I really just needed to take action. Here I am, taking the actions necessary. I'm really not seeing any level up so far. However, what I am seeing is me getting through the introductory phase of the video game, learning how to play, getting the hang of things, and learning the buttons and the controllers, also the rules, and also learning the style of my character. So I've already had 2 clients today. I found it really interesting what my first client said to me. He's a lawyer, and he ended up saying to me, "Are these the kind of deep conversations that you have with everyone?" I was like, "No, you've only revealed to me what you wanted to reveal to me." I said, "Notice how I only asked you one question." And the one question I asked him was, "What's on your mind?" And he was the one that introduced the depth. He was the one that started to speak about what was going on in his life. And then I just asked who, what, where, when, why questions. I genuinely am really interested in how his mind works and why it works the way that it does. And the funny part is the depth that he was pointing out about me was the depth that he gave up freely himself. I just thought that was kind of a funny mirror moment. I read something really interesting that I want to share. The creative energy exists in the journey to the making, not in the act of constructing. That's what I'm doing, is I'm documenting the process. And the process itself is becoming the story. And if I had never started doing the process, I wouldn't have the story. And the story is, I'm currently in hairstyling, and I'd like to move in another direction. And the gap is the story, the process of the becoming. And that's what's happening right now. And it's interesting that Rick Rubin put it into words. Here's another one that's resonating. Rarely, if ever, do we know the grand intention. Yet, if we surrender to the creative impulse, our singular piece of the puzzle takes its proper shape. I feel like I'm like breaking my mind or questioning too big of a question sometimes when I think, what is the grand purpose of this big thing? This is confirmation that all you really need to do is, like Rick Rubin says, surrender to the creative impulse, and everything will unfold as it shall. I had an hour-and-a-half break, so what I decided to do is come to a cafe to type away a little bit and just get some editing out of the way. I really want to make this as doable as possible. There's little logistical things that I'm running into. Pretty much the first thing is I want to hang out with friends. By the time I want to hang out with friends, I've worked full-time, and then I still need to like edit a video if I've already even recorded that day, or I still need to record one. Still trying to iron out that process, but so far things seem to be working pretty good. The strawberry matcha's already mostly drank. I really wanted to sit and journal and type away what is the purpose of documentation of my expression. I'm really curious to know, like, why have I decided to document my life? I think that that is a question that deserves some time to answer, and I'm going to do it right now. We have reached the end of the day, and I'm here to share with you the final results of the writing. This is titled, Sitting with Purpose. What is the purpose of the documentation of my expression? I'd like to share how I feel into the void, because most of the time, and for most of my life, I really just felt alone. And every time I've ever expressed how I felt to another human in person, they usually open up too, because somehow they felt less alone or could relate. And every time I had learned that everything I have ever named was so deeply human that it always turned out that I was never alone all along. And so these videos, this romanticization of my life, this truthful expression is my own permission to exist simply for myself. And maybe this authentic expression can encourage others to do the thing,
to feel less alone, hang out, relate, see themselves in another human. I'm not sure I've arrived at the grand version of this. I do this for younger me. I think he'd be happy to see himself grow up into someone who creates and hasn't forgotten. These videos are like time capsules for my life, for a human that once existed. The record keeping of my transformations, the endless becoming, my learnings, weirdness, and my art. The higher purpose of my service is the same reason as the purpose of my documentation. That is all, and that answers today's topic of intention. What is the greater purpose? Why it is that I document, and hopefully, in the end, it's just to invite somebody into connection, into feeling less alone. And it's as simple as that. Expression. Express yourself. And on that end note, remember to choose, remember to express yourself, and remember that the magic is within you.